With the next tier of Pandemonium coming out, Abyssos, I thought I would take a look through the Asphodelos tier and point out some of the smaller details I noticed in these fights. So the first thing to say is this is not a raid guide. I just like to shine light onto animations and battle mechanics that sometimes are too subtle or small to notice during the heat of battle. I don't want to waste your time, so let's jump into the first circle of the Asphodelos tier. This fight is against Erichthonios. Eric is a warder of Asphodelos, which is Pandemonium's highest layer. In Japanese, the name is Gokusotsu, which is a term that refers to a low-ranking prison guard. Supposedly, he had succumbed to the chaos eroding the protections inside the facility. He reports remembering a chorus of whispers assailing him, causing him to black out, which is why he transforms into this huge beast. Anyways, let's take a look at this warder. Eric has multiple chains all wrapped around his arms and back. I really like this design of the chains wrapped up since I imagine these are used to fly out and latch onto creations that have gotten loose. Though the bindings at the end are kind of small. Can't wait to actually find out that Ascian testing was happening in Pandemonium. Anyways, the other notable detail I wanted to point out is the helmet Eric wears. You can see his glowing eyes here, and a red Ascian mask lies on the top of the helm. This is the Mask of La Habrea, actually. Many are thinking this will be the La Habrea we meet in A Realm Reborn, which would be so cool. The arena for this fight takes place outside of the facility. There are many bridges that seem to connect multiple buildings together, so I wonder if each building will take us to a lower level of Pandemonium. The most noteworthy things are the giant cages swinging around the area, and the giant chains seemingly keeping this place locked away from the rest of Elpis. Also, the three-headed snake statues that adorn the gates are the same creation we fight in the Catesis dungeon. Okay, I think that's enough lore and discussion. Let's look at some of these animations. The first attack is Jailer's Flail, which has Eric literally pulling out a flail from his chest before he sinks it into the ground. This indicates which side it will cleave, of course, and changes in the Savage version. The normal version just cleaves one side, but in Savage it'll cleave a wider area, and the warder will have two kinds of flails you have to dodge. The first set of flails are the normal ones that cleave one side of the area, and the other set is this circular disc and spiked ball. These are for the in and out mechanics. A close-up of the disc actually shows a little face near the top of it. The spiked ball also makes an appearance during the Pitiless Flail. This is what the warder summons for the knockback attack. In the normal mode, this is always followed up by a party stack. There's a chain effect around Eric's hand during this, and orbs of light spin down onto the targeted person. This hand-raising, like summoning animation, is actually used for a bunch of different mechanics in this fight. Intemperance is a hot-cold mechanic, having you line up with the opposite element of your debuff. The crystals that indicate the element of the area have a book inside wrapped with chains. Eric's helmet can actually be seen on the book's cover. During the wind-up here, Eric will gather energy to his hand before spinning and sending this wave out to hit the first set of crystals. Heavy Hand is Eric's Tank Buster and is a stronger version of his auto attack. His auto attack is a swiping strike, with the Tank Buster having a purple aura wrapping around his hand. Warder's Wrath is the Raid Rod attack. Eric has chains wrapped around his hand as he punches the ground, creating cracks in the ground. Chains fly out from the place where he punches. I think this is a good place to point out the teleport animation Eric uses when he moves back to the center of the arena. Chains surround him as he disappears and reappears. Shining Cells is the shift into a kind of middle or second phase. This is the same animation as Warder's Wrath, though instead of chains spreading out in every direction, the chains here are a dome that expands out and blacks out the screen. When the screen fades back in, we can see a circular arena separated into different colored areas with chains. On the outside of the arena, we can see chains surrounding the arena with a green fog behind them. The unique attack in this phase is Aether Chain, which targets a certain color of the floor. The easiest way to determine where to go is to look at the orbs floating around Eric. These are orbs of flames and light, though a nice little detail is that Eric's eyes also glow with the type of color he will go with. Eric will target one player to decide which color will go off as well. This is called Shackles of Time. This has purple chains wrapping around the character chosen. This chain effect is similar to another Savage element mechanic, Ethereal Shackles. Players will get a debuff of either Shackles of Companionship, which is purple, or Shackles of Loneliness, which is red. The long and short of it is the purple debuff will connect you with the 3 closest party members and send chains to them that set off a small AoE, while the red debuff will connect you with the 3 farthest players and send chains that set off a large AoE around them. The chain AoEs will have that color of the debuff around the chains and AoE explosion. The red debuff sets off Inescapable Loneliness, and the purple debuff sets off Inescapable Companionship. The ones who are the debuff will have multiple chains wrapping around them for the red debuff and a single chain around the ones who are targeted by the debuff. The purple debuff player does not have a chain surrounding them, but does have a chain connecting them to each of the closest party members. Fourfold Shackles is the more intense version of this mechanic, having a debuff on every party member. I love how this mechanic looks when it resolves. It's one of my favorite mechanics visually from this tier for sure. And I think that about covers all the unique mechanics and animations. Everything else is mashed up mechanics combined in harder and harder variations. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is the first kind of raid breakdown I've done before. I'm sure I missed a lot or wasn't very clear with some of my explanations of the animations. If there's something that you thought could be done better, please let me know down below in the comments. I read through all of them. I really want to make this more of a common thing on the channel. I love raids in Final Fantasy XIV. I actually have a static that is practicing right now for 6.2. So if you want to watch us kind of gear up for 6.2 and then, you know, stream 6.2, head on over to my Twitch channel. Yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really nervous to like put out this video, but I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.